Number figured out, a motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. What to think about when you're born into a fire. Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack. the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Late this morning, body aching, moving is a burden. I can't lift my head. Slotted light on fabric, cross your imprint.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Preseason Night 3, the final night of the CSC Preseason. I am joined by Kat and our observer, Aiden here, who is the GM of the Tadpole Titans, and they're going up against the Spaghets in Recruits here. How are you doing, Kat?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me, man. How are you?
I'm having a phenomenal day. Had a good interview, did really well on it for a job, and hung out with some friends earlier on
Nice.
today. Yeah, so I had a great day, and I'm casting some Counter-Strike.
Yeah, finishing off the night right. Let's get into it. Looks like
Yeah.
gonna start with the tadpole or the totem poles. Over on the T side is what they went with, which I think that's a pretty good idea. In my opinion, with this being a recruit match, it's probably going to be heavily T-sided is just what I'm thinking right off the bat. So yeah, let's get into this pistol round.
I mean, Anubis is new to the map pool, and we have played it here last season. We saw it a lot. We saw it a lot in Prospect. I think it was one of the most played maps. I don't have the numbers on me, but I think someone crunched them, and that was the truth. So T side, obviously, kind of like a big deal here. It's one of the easier side to play, in my personal opinion. And here we are, pistol round up from Twitchy, spotting the first. Still fall back, and oh, Zam instantly gushed, and now they're taking space towards mid. They're fighting Twitchy. Falling off now towards the A site. Being overrun here by Cool Guy with a great headshot and turns around, but he has the bomb and he's leading the charge. Scalpel falls off of Palace here. Only swings out from CT, runs out of bullets as the bomb is being planted. And Scalpel still fighting Toast here. In Palace, and he's just waiting. Oh, Prodigy Toast. The dualies do reign supreme. Now left to a 5v3, 5v2 make that. Symmetric picks up Homie. And Symmetric and Prodigy Toast pick up the last 2 kills here to start off the match with a phenomenal pistol round.
Yeah, Tadpole Titans, they picked up, or they got their foot in their door rather in mid, and then they just never let off the gas. The Spaghets, they just couldn't get any of those fights to go their way in the mid section, and then it was just an open site to A. So really well done from the totem poles that time. Getting into our second round, looks like we have a lot of MAC-10s bought up, yeah, Galil, and even an AK on Symmetric. And it looks like straight away it's going to be just a brawl at the B site. As we have, looks like 7 players coming in. No smokes, no nothing for the first few seconds of the round. Naderhost is definitely sweating with all these footsteps. And it's going to be a triple peak. The CTs are actually putting up a really good fight with just USPs. Symmetric or Toast to bring 2 back, but that's all he has. for his team. They're starting to converge on the B site, but it might be too little too late for the Tadpoles here.
They're left alone here. They still have bomb control, and it's still down to a 3v2. And Symmetric just making a lot of noise here. Colney has no idea which way to go, and they're just taking the bomb to his day. Symmetric, oh, that's an AK loss into the hands of Colney. A side is free, but Colney, with that AK, can definitely opt to just save here. And I think that's what they're doing. An AK in the CT's hands is very, very powerful. It's very dangerous as well. Just the instant one-tap potential to the head can make a sight hole just that much easier. And yeah, he's just up to save.
Not a bad
Um,
option. He's going to force the rebuy of 3 of the Tadpoles, and that's going to set them up nicely going into the 3rd round. If they take that 3rd round, then it's going to be looking tough for a 4th round buy if Totem Pole wants to do that. So very well handled by the CTs here.
Yeah, and I mean, with the way the I guess T side's going, right? It's a bit more usual now to save second round, especially with the A1S meta being kind of prominent a few months ago, and people still opt to use the A1S just because of the cheaper price tag, and it just kind of makes the saving second round that much more viable, especially if you save an AK. You can definitely drop that over to someone who may prefer some pieces of utility or maybe wants to buy a diffuse kit or something. You know, being able to drop that gun over is definitely a good option to have here, but the AWP is coming out now onto Toast here very early on, so we could see it come to bite them in the ass here, as these two Mac 10s are probably going to make the space for the Totem Pole, excuse me.
Yeah, definitely a risky buy, but it's going to pay off straight away. Toast getting a kill onto Twitchy. Already paying off in dividends here. And it looks like they're just kind of playing it slow, the Tadpoles. They're just trying to get some map control, see if any counter-aggression comes out from the CTs. Because when you're a man down with a map this spread out, you can expect some counter-aggression. And we can see here Zam. Zam's looking to push canals and see if he can catch someone lurking and rotate. And he's trying to phase out the smoke. But he's spotted immediately by Anonymous Mouse. He's stuck in the corner here. It's really awkward for Zam, but so far he's holding on. You have to wonder if Anonymous Mouse lost him. Some damage onto him, but Zam stays alive. He's going to drop the smoke and just try to get out of there. It might be best just to cut his losses like he's doing. Oh, and Anonymous Mouse almost had the read on the spray, but didn't connect. And now we have the take of the A site. Spotted at Broken Wall. Fight for Symmetric. That's a huge one for opening that bomb site. And that pretty much seals the deal for Tadpoles to pick up this round. Very important round. And the final kill with the quick scope from Toast. He's looking sharp at the start of the match. That's 3 kills for Toast right off the bat. And we're up 3-0.
I mean, that was a quick scope to the head off of a reaction, right? Moving, getting into the connector there, and to hit that shot is just insane. Like, I mean, I know I tell people I'm not an opper, but like any opper that I know doesn't hit that. So just insane reactions there. And some good overall play here from the Totem Pole. There's like, you know, Symmetric there, kind of bit of a hero in the round, got a triple kill on that A side entry, and he's kind of a big point of contention there. He was very well rated high in the Legends recruit draft pick grades here, and it's a reverse stack, a reverse push, and oh,
This is interesting. We've got 5 players flanking Canal. Symmetric, I think, spotted that, so he's going to be calling it out to his teammates. They're going to be watching that E-box room, but complete opposite stacks, like you said. Oh, but some kills coming in for the Spaghets. It's not all lost, but did a little damage, but ultimately only 1 kill is all they're going to get, and their economy is not looking too strong. They'll have enough to buy 1 or 2 ops here. I mean, I recommend they step it up with maybe 2 ops as a way to help control the map and stop the bleeding here. That seems to be a common theme for Anubis, but it's going to take a win right here to get them back on track.
they're just kind of stomping all over them, right? Symmetric, I mentioned them just now. They're 10-1, Cat. 10-1 in the 5th round of play. An absolute demon of a player there. And so, I mean, I can understand why Legend rated them so high in the recruit draft grade. But Naderhosen here, spotting some utility, and is just getting a bit wary there. Falling off. And they're fighting for this mid corner. Mid is completely open, but neither team knows it.
Yeah, they're
Gosh,
playing a 3-1-1 setup, the Spaghets. It's kind of ballsy, but it seems to be the right stack, the right call, as we see at least 4 players Actually, 5 players stacked up kind of towards the mid and the B section, ready to do a B split, it looks like. So this could be a good call for them. It really matters how they pace their utility and if they second guess themselves and rotate. So far, we're just kind of waiting here. We see some smoke coming in, at least one to the B side, if I am not mistaken, but the rotation holds strong. And the first kill going the way of the Spaghets. Another player spotted B, so they can kind of see that the B split is probably a possibility here. That's at least what they were trying to do. And it's all going to come down to this fight in mid. Twitchy setting up the team nicely, but he's got a little more work to do as he takes some spam in mid, but they go ahead and fall back.
Left in 2v5 now, and they're trying to make their way around. They're trying to poke and prod at these different at the opposite side of where they were trying to hit. And oh, we see here Naderhosen back turning. Are they gonna catch him off guard? They do. And now they know they only may have saw one, maybe both, and Scalpel trying to redraw this info back. And Prodigy Toast cannot readjust fast enough. Now left to Toast here on the op. 7 seconds left. Has the bomb, but no time left over. And it was a great round here for the counter-terrorist side. They got the opening picks. They played a solid CT side round. They had the trade potential. They had the every angle being watched. And when it comes to at least recruit here, you can get away with having these set play. A lot of times, a lot of these in-game leaders within the lower tiers have just like set plays of the playbook. They run a simple site hit, site exec. They either exec A, exec B, or fight for mid. And the higher you get up in the tiers, the more it starts to become more fluid. The more defaults are pushed towards for the map. Pushing for map control instead of just hitting the site. And we've shown that while even though it's recruit, they can still fight back on the CT side. And oh, Naderhosen spots one.
He spots one, but he doesn't want the smoke. He briefly spots the enemy, but he falls back, gets the reload, but he calms it out to his team. Still only one player on the A side. We do see the mid player kind of creeping around towards A, starting to make his way over, and it's a good thing because it looks like it's about to break out soon over here at the A site. It was good last round from the CTs in mid. They did keep that mid control, like you said in the beginning of the round. It was wide open. But it looks like this round, the T's are going to completely disregard mid, and they're actually just going to go straight for the A hit right here, right now. What do you got, Spaghets?
Oh, that was a great play by Scalpel. Going up with our double kill in exam. Peeking off their contact. Prodigy Toast picks up another back, and it's a 2v3. But oh, look at Twitchy on the flank. The site players just have to just stay alive here. Toast. Turning background has an inkling, and misses the shot, and Twitchy picks up the kill. The trade doesn't come through. Twitchy with a great double flank there. Calls out the round 2-4.
2-4 indeed. I said Spaghets need to start putting some rounds on the board to get their economy under control, and that's exactly what they've done. It's looking really good there. They had all 4 members of the totem poles there at that site, and they still couldn't convert. And I think that's to a lack of flashbangs. I really wasn't seeing many flashes coming before they were swinging on the platform and around that smoke. And props over to the Spaghets. They had the rotation, they had the read, and they had the crossfire. So really good on them. Twitchy missing the shot through the smoke, but he is gonna find another one.
Just falls off here. Afraid of the reaggression there, but cool guy. Ooh, nade straight to the face, eats it. Now down to 48 HP, and oh, Naderhosen. That's a smart nade. A little bit too high up there, but does a lot of damage onto Symmetric. That's the top player for the totem pole. And Toast. A lot of timing here. Posted up at the corner of Dark here, outside of Dark, excuse me. And Naderhosen. Over on the opposite side of the map there, Twitchy. Watching the cross from Connector. Flash comes through. Shot does not ring out there. Toast with an ambitious fight there as Naderhosen peeks in, and they're going for the Beast Split Cat. They're rushing in. They caught the guy out of jail. That's cool guy entering. It's the first. Does not pick up the second. Scalpel with a double. A Toast. The double of their own and a good trade. Now down to the 1v2 clutch. 45 seconds and fakes the bomb plant down. Here's the first. Holy does not get taken out, and Toast, or excuse me, Coney wins out the round 3-4 now, Cat. That's a phenomenal start to a comeback here.
Absolutely. That was a pretty good play, I'd say, with the fake, but it just didn't work out for him. I mean, that round entirely comes down to Scalpel. If he doesn't get a few kills there, then he's going to be overrun, and the site is theirs. So that was huge, getting a double. He didn't get the third, so he won't be on the highlight reel tonight, probably, but he did a lot for his team right there. That essentially saved him the round. If they had gotten through, they'd have set up the crossfires, they'd have set up camp in that bomb site. So huge plays by Scalpel there. Now into the next round, we're seeing another large presence outside the A site. Looks like just a save round, so they're looking to just kind of overwhelm the opponents. We do have a third even rotating over to this A site, so it's going to be a huge clash coming through. They're playing far back, so these Glocks are going to be as useful as they're hoping. They got the crossfire and a little bit of damage, but it's going the way of the Spaghets right now. They're doing really well to hold them off. A nice dig from Symmetric coming through, though. That's a double to bring it back for his team. They get the plant down, and now the flank from Heaven. It gets cleaned up, but it's a great effort from him. And now Toast, Prodigy Toast, coming with the no-scope. It's not going to be enough. Both CTs flanking and cleaning up the kills. You know, for a Glock round, that was really well done. A bomb plant and 3 deaths is going to keep that economy under wraps for the Spaghets. Very well done by Tadpole, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned Scalpel in the previous round here, needing to a former a friend of mine actually, when they were talking with one of their draftees, saying that to be a good player, you don't have to get 3 kills. Just getting 1 or 2 is more than enough, and Scalpel showed it there. Scalpel was a part of my team season 9. Fortunately, we had to cut him, as we already found our solid 5 there. But I'm so glad he found a team, even though it is in the lowest tier of the season or of the league. He's still a phenomenal player there. And yeah, you're right. That was a phenomenal eco run. Just as Toast hits a phenomenal shot onto Twitchy. Headshot to open up the round here. Bomb plant down, 3 kills. What more you can ask for? It just makes the money for the Tadpole that much better to work with.
Yeah, it seems like another default kind of setup. They noticed that the stacks towards one site weren't working, that they needed to spread out, and that's exactly what they've done. And we see a quick fight coming out with Scalpel on top. That's control the canals. That gives them a lot of info to kind of understand where these remaining Ts are. But he's going to back off out of E-Box, go back to the site. And here we see a good mid setup going. Unlike the previous gun round where they had a good kind of foot in the door for mid, but they ended up losing it all. Now they have 2 there. They have them available for the trade. And right as I say that, the op is too far away and he misses the shot. He was gifted a chance with the CT rotating into his position where he could get the trade, but it still doesn't come through. But Prodigy Toast with bringing one back. Almost 2 back, in fact, as they start to split the B site, and Toast going to go down. That's going to be a site for them, and a shot through the smoke as well. Goodbye, Naderhosen, at the hands of Toast. He's got the bomb down, and now a 2v1. A round that didn't start off too well has now been cleaned up very nicely.
For a 4K now, just holding the CT angle. Colney walks into it, spotted the leg, and went for a bit of a spam there. And it just let the entire totem pole know exactly where their location was. And kind of, look at their money here, Kat. As you mentioned before, totem pole got 3 kills and got a bomb plant down. Now look at the money here for Upsetty Spaghetti. These Spaghets, low money on 3/4 of their players here, but Exam able to drop over a couple of rifles there, maybe able to just drop one, and they're getting their economy under control here. They all have the utility, 1 kid on Scalpel, but they all have rifles, and that's what they need to supposedly hold down the site as best as possible here. Money's not looking too good here for the totem pole either, but T-side economy is a bit easier to manage as Prodigy Toast and Scalpel are dueling here. And Scalpel wins that engagement, but is smoked off. Oh, and he's gonna push past it. Oh, the barrel might have been spotted.
His leg. Maybe it's a caster's kind of perspective that we can see the leg, but surely as it fades, he's going to spot him. And there it is. Scalpel, not sure where he was looking on that one, but that's going to give another advantage over to Totem Poles. And just like that, Naderhosen brings it back with the B aggression. Like I was saying before, if you're going to go down a man, you got to get some counter aggression going, and that's exactly what he's done. He's done it alone, too. That much more impressive. And that gives him a lot of info and a pretty good read as he spots Cool Guy coming into the E-Box room, but he kind of wins that engagement, does a lot of damage to the opponent, and now Twitchy comes in to trade.
Oh, Symmetric. All the way up on A site, and they know he's calling it out to their teammates. They're booking it towards the A site Symmetric. There's the footsteps. Puts up first, then is he ready for another to come for the trade? No, no one is there fast enough. They are going for a fast A main flank. Bomb being planted on the right side of the box here. Holney and Exam. Exam very, very low, but making a lot of noise here. Anonymous with an instant headshot. Cannot get the spray transfer onto Exam. Exam is now the last left alive. 22 HP in a 1v2. It's still doable. Cool guy is very low, but doesn't matter once a metric peeks out, gets the kill onto Exam, and brings their lead now to 6-4, breaking the streak of the Spaghets.
Absolutely, and that round all comes down to Symmetric, I believe it was. He got into the A site, he read the rotation, and he took the space that was available. He noticed that there were so many gunfights going on towards Canal and towards B that surely they would think it's a B split. And he kind of slots himself in there and gives the comm to his team. That was very well executed by them. And like we predicted, a dominant T side coming through. And a save round coming out of the Spaghets. They're going to all come out through B main all at once. Only one flash. It's going to be a triple spray down from Prodigy. Toast is also here. The young Toast is there to also help clean up, but it's going to be Symmetric to get the remaining frags, in fact. There were a few kills coming through, though, for the Spaghets. Not all in vain. For what they had going into that round, that's not a bad outcome.
Yeah, definitely not there. I mean, if the the T's just weren't there to kind of play off the tradability, just kind of spread out too far apart. The Spaghetti could have definitely picked up a couple of guns and just flanked them hard from behind. Maybe even just reversed back to the site and went to the opposite side. A few dropped guns can make or break the round when it comes to these eco plays, and it definitely could have gone very scary. But they bring the lead now to 7-4, and I mean, what kind of answers should they be having here? What kind of questions should the Spaghetti be asking here if you're in their shoes, Cat?
If I was the Spaghets, I would be getting a little more aggressive towards the A site. They're mostly playing a 3-1-1, but we haven't seen the Totem Pole's pressure B that early in the round. So what I'd like to see is maybe some counter aggression outside A, get two players in there, one of them pop flashing. At least then they would have some info on how many players are defaulting over towards A. Something to get them a little more info so they have more accurate rotations. Because right now it seems to just be the map is just being controlled by the Totem Poles. We see in mid, a fight is just about to break out, and yep, Toast, or Prodigy rather, gets it to start off with. That opens up the mid, and it looks like it's going to be an A split.
Look at Symmetric though. Knows the timing so well. Knows that his teammates are starting to make a lot of noise, and their back should be turned, and there is. Only back turn. It's taken out by at Heaven, and that scalpel removed as well. Here, cool guy onto the CT player. Cannot pick up the kill there. Symmetric onto Naderhosen, who was going for an ambitious flank. We've seen the CTs play for a very fast flank, and it's worked out so often, but they're just ready for it now. An Exam now left screen, tail tucked between their legs, saving over here on the B side.
Yeah, most of the time when I'm seeing aggression, I'm seeing it through Canal with a rifle. We've seen him phase a smoke twice now, but I think they need to put an op down there to try to get that entry frag. They know that the Totem Poles are willing to fight that fight, so I think they need to put a bigger gun with a one-shot kill down there to kind of shift it in their favor. Then they, can kind of be sloppier in their rotations. But as it stands right now, they're not doing what they need to do to get the info, and as a result we're seeing them just creep into mid with 2 to 3 players, and it's a trade and then a split to the site of their choice. So if we don't see some better rotations from the Spaghets, then we're going to keep seeing some T rounds getting racked up for the Totem Pole. They're not out of it yet. 4 to 8 is not out of the range of possibility. I mean, I'd really like to see the CTs get 6 rounds here if they can. But that all needs to start here, and it needs to start with these MP9s they got.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does beg the question, though. Do you just go for a save and come out guns blazing, or do you go for a force by try to bring the gun back here? Oh, and Symmetric gets called out. Took some molly damage. Kill does not go into the favor of the Spaghets here. Naderhosen tagged down now to 34 HP. And they're just defaulting again here. I did talk about how Recruit can definitely get away with just having these set plays, but like the Caster's Curse I'm known for, they proved me wrong. They're going for some defaults and going for some big splits here. An Exam ready for any sort of utility to come through. The flash does come through, and he's ready for it. Molly does ring out. Anonymous spots Body. Does not land a frag, but does get some info. And as you mentioned, Kat, info is a big deal when it comes to playing Counter-Strike.
Well, and it's an even bigger deal when you're dealing with Anubis. It's a map that's so spread out that it's difficult for the CTs to know where to strengthen their defenses. But Again, we're seeing a 3-1-1, and I like to see who is it? Naderhosen. He's getting a little curious, looking to maybe jiggle peek down in Canal, but the first fight's going to be in mid yet again. And Twitchy, he hits the headshot and he falls back. Very smart of him to fall back. He realizes he has bomb and he's going to be calling for backup. The Deeg spam isn't good, but he does 80 damage to the opponent, and it's going to be a kill for Colney. I'm not quite sure how he managed to pick that one up, as his teammate surely knew that that he was up there, but didn't turn nonetheless. And now we have a quick retake coming in. They're going to be sending 2 to 3 players through that connector, and it's going to be Zam with 2 kills to clean it up, and that's exactly what they needed. They needed the players alive to build up that economy, and they needed the round win. Very well done by Spaghets.
I mean, Exam picked up a triple kill. The hero AK, the saved rifle from the last round, is the reason why they won, right? Of course, they had a couple of guns picked over, but Exam was not only getting info, taking some fights, but was also leading the charge there, running into that retake immediately, pushing past that molly, forcing their teammates to push past with him or risk losing the round. And once again, leading by example here, 10 and 9 for Exam, and Twitchy 10 to 10, having some good scorelines overall here on the scoreboard. But looking over at the totem pole side here, Symmetric almost breaking 20 kills here, with Toast and Prodigy Joes following close behind.
Some heavy presence towards the B site early. It might be an early exec after these this early utility fades out from the Spaghets, but we do have an aggressive push kind of from Zam up in the jail position. Usually a one and done position, but he did get a triple kill last round. He is feeling hot, so maybe he can show up for him again. Lord knows that they need it. Flash comes through to bait utility, hopefully, but they're not biting just yet. And now we see 4 players coming through B main. A good flash, and Zam is down for the count, but they have 2 other players here. They stack 3, remember, and 2 trades come in. Scalpel and Naderhosen. They're holding it down, and now we see yet another kill. Naderhosen gets flanked. The Toast brothers come through to bring this round back. We got Prodigy on low health, but a 2v2 nonetheless. They're looking to back off of B, go towards A, feel it out. They're not going to meet any resistance as both players are posted on the B site, but you'd think this might be an obvious rotate, yet the CTs aren't budging. And just as I say that, we got Colney. He's sniffing out the play here. He realizes that they could be rotating over to B and they're going to play a 1-1. But as we see, Twitchy's playing really far back. He's just looking to spot. He's just looking to call for backup and retake the site together, and that's smart against an op, I think.
Definitely is, but they are split apart here, Cat. Opposite sites here. T's have a bit of an advantage. They can just pick a site and overrun them. However, Prodigy Toast is low and with the rifle, so having Toast here entry with the op is not going to bode well, but it doesn't matter when Toast clears his angles and hits the shot. There are 10 seconds left. That bomb has to go now. And they don't waste another second planting it. Twitchy left into the 1v2. Coming in from CT and is just biting their tongue and running away here. They're saving. And it's a 9th round for the totem pole. The tactical, no, not tactical. Toads. Is it tactical tadpoles? I'm a bad caster. Oh my goodness. Nonetheless, they bring up to a 9th round here, and I mean, you did say you hope for the Spaghets to have 6 round, or yeah, at least 6 rounds here, and it's looking plausible now. The scoreline is now going to be 9-5, but they have 1 round left, and they have a bit of money to work with here.
I gotta admit, I think this is a weird save. He must not have gotten the call that Prodigy was lit, and obviously he's retaking into an op, which is difficult, but we're going into the last round of the half, and so his team has a bye regardless. Everybody's money, some of it's better than others, but the whole team's going to have a bye, so I think that would have been worth it for Twitchy to try to eke out that win, especially with Prodigy so low. But maybe he just didn't get the comm, you never know. And of course it was against some of the 2 hottest players on the roster at 12 and 15 kills respectively for the half, but you got to wonder, could that be the difference maker for this game and for this half?
A bit of the unsung hero here is Cool Guy, who's been hot on some nice entries and been a bit of a great hard entry fragger here. First one onto the site there, taking all the crosshairs off of their star players of Symmetric, and I just got word that the Cool Guy might also be the in-game leader, so that's interesting to see. Having some great impact overall here, as we do see some trades here over at top. Cool Guy gets some info. Scalpel takes him out here. Not a lick of damage here, but Colney, a nice angle, and might spot the legs of Anonymous if she's ready. And she's just jiggling. Colney Falls off here. Anonymous goes for the wide swing. Colney gets the shot here. Trade is not there, but the molly does come out here. Symmetric is low HP, so is Prodigy Toast. Flash comes in. That's a team flash. This is not the NA nades. Colney picks up the first. Can he pick up the second? He does
Ooh.
to close out the round with a nice triple kill to end off the half, 9-6.
Yeah, they got the 6 that I was saying they needed, and I think it all comes back to that B aggression. They did get traded from Symmetry and mid, but that sort of aggression with the trade capability is exactly what they needed. That got them so much info, and it really allowed them to get the neck up in the beginning of the round, and I think that's what ultimately helped them because they had that info. They knew where the fights were going to come out at, and they had the Tadpoles boxed in towards A main, so really well done. And of course, we can't forget to give props over to Colney getting the 3K there. Perhaps the spacing was a little off for the Tadpoles there, and that opened up the door for Colney, but he seized the opportunity. That was really well done. And if they can pick up this pistol, they are going to have all the momentum going into the second half. This hard charging T side that we have on Anubis. And it's going to be a quick mid. It looks like we have all 5 players coming in, but it is a 2-stack, and we do have dual Berettas with Toast getting 2. He's getting surrounded, and only going to get 2 is all he's going to end with. But the charge does not stop here. We do have a good crossfire in mid, though, from the A site, and that's going to be a kill for Symmetric. He is getting peeked from the other side, and that is going to result in a trade, but for the Tadpoles, for the Spaghets, it's going to be a favorable trade, but Scalpel closes it out quick. He doesn't want there to be any chance for Anonymous to get back into that one. He wants to take that T-sided round, get the pistol, get them in a good position, and I like where the Spaghets are sitting right now.
Yeah, I mean, Scalpel picked up 4K in that round, 107 ADR. He's been stepping up here lately and just showing that he is a phenomenal player that I talked him up to be. Now, he does buy an AK here. Now, before I used to say the cardinal sin of Counter-Strike, as a former friend of mine had said, and I got word that buying an AK is definitely viable, especially in these lower tiers here, especially if you're just a better aimer. And Scalpel, once again, 16-10, 107 ADR is looking likely. 4 Mac 10s around it though, and they're looking to just go for a sight hit here maybe. They are defaulting. Bomb is still closer towards B, so maybe they're trying to go for a fake here. But as you mentioned, Cat, some CT side aggression here is definitely your best bet at getting info and not just getting overrun on the site. Symmetric also fall back here as the lone A side anchor.
Yeah, I like how the Spaghets are playing this. They're not using any utility. They're just waiting for these pistols to get curious. That's what you would expect from the CTs here, is to overpeak just for information so they know where to stack these pistols. So really well done from the Ts just to kind of sit back and wait for that. And they're going to start throwing some nades out to the B site here. Looks like that is where it's going to be ending. We got 4 players stacked up towards there, but we do have the fight at A going the way of the Spaghets. That's going to result in Cool Guy getting 2, actually. And right now, things are falling apart for the Spaghets. The pistols and the movement around the smokes, it's just proving too much to handle. And now we have Naderhosen left in a 1-on-2. Anonymous creeping through the smoke. She knows that the player's not going to be watching that corner, and before she can get to it, Prodigy finishes it out. That is a huge round from the CTs, and it looked like the odds were stacked against them. I can't believe they pulled that one through. And in the end, the A-site play that got the pick didn't even matter. You have to wonder why he was lurking out that late in the round. If they could have gone A there, we probably would be looking at a different result, but that's just not how the cards fell, and the wind just knocked out of the sails of the Spaghets here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talked about it before that the T side here on Anubis, especially when it comes to these lower tiers, it's just a plus W kind of map, right? They want to take this map control, they want to take these aggressive fights there, and the pistols, these close range pistols can do so much damage. The 5.7 is just an absolute demon. As Prodigy Toast takes out Naderhosen, gets called out there, blinded by their own flash, but triple dinked even by Colney and that Glock. It was only an MP9, so no money to be farmed. However, the MP9, we know sometimes it can be unbelievably overpowered here.
We see this mid peek coming in, and Toast is good for another. He sees the other player spamming through, and he's going to go for the peek, but he runs out of ammo, and Anonymous comes away with it, or Twitchy, excuse me, comes away with it. And a great nade from Anonymous, as I mentioned her. She starts popping off, of course, and we have a 1v3 for Twitchy. He doesn't have the bomb. that's in the back far away, and he's starting to get boxed in here. They seem to know where Twitchy's at. They knew where he got the last kill at, so they have a good idea. But a great peek onto Cool Guy, a huge headshot. It was needed as he was so low, and with the FAMAS as well against an AK. That's what you have to do, and now he's got bomb. And he's probably assuming they're split one-on-one. We do have some aggression coming out there. The rotate's starting to come around back towards the B side. I'm not sure what that call is all about. Probably because the Canal player's not seeing anything, and a great call by Twitchy to go around A-long. That means they're both going to remain stacked up on the site, and now he has time to get the bomb down and to get a great position for this retake.
One opposite fake here is worried. No peek coming through yet. 10 seconds left. Let's get that bomb plant down. And now Anonymous and Symmetric are just going to be scurrying to retake the site here. But as we mentioned last half there, 3 kills and a bomb plant down on a nearly full eco round is great. Twitchy getting aggressive here. Knows he has to isolate the 1v1s. Back is turned here. Symmetric might catch a huge timing. What's the jiggle? Oh, they just miss each other. They barely miss. Oh, and Symmetric.
Oh, but this nade.
And they,
Oh,
oh,
there it is.
phenomenal nade. I'm gonna say it here, Cat. I'm sorry, but check him, PC. There's absolutely no way he should just. I don't know. They're better than me. That's all I can say.
I mean, in a 1v2, he knows that the player's probably going to be searching for that first kill to catch one of the players off guard. So that was very good game knowledge from him to think that maybe he pushed through that side because he wasn't seeing anybody on site. A very well-placed nade. Huge props for that play. And now we see, it looks like a full buy coming out with a lot of utility available for the T's. This is going to be a big test for them. See if they can break through these defenses of a full gun round, because so far it's been a quick back and forth with the half buys. And so far we're seeing a heavy presence towards back B. They're kind of bunched up. Maybe they were expecting a B push, but instead the fight's going to come through Canal. We have some spam through the smoke, but there's no recipients on the other side of that spam. And a quick engagement. Symmetric's got his work cut out for him, and he can't even get a single kill. The A site is wide open. And if nothing else, this is going to be an incredible fake, as we see the players over at B still haven't budged. A great fake being sold. We do have 2 players now at the B, but maybe not as good as it could have been, honestly. I think they should have left at least a player there to kind of, pull the rotate even harder, but instead, the B site, it's getting split. Canal, 2 players, and B main, 3 players as well. We get Cool Guy coming back. There was a gap in the smoke, but a lot of damage is going to be taken. That bullet punch makes him slow down through the fire, and that's going to make it difficult with this retake. But a 3-on-3 Toast with a quick comeback from the Canals. An awkward engagement, but he makes the most of it. And Toast again taking down Scalpel in the jail section. Zam says no. He stops them right in their tracks. It's such a back and forth. And Toast is forced into an awkward position, and the Molly ends up doing it. I think he actually got touched by the flashbang, and it stopped his movement, which affected him getting outside of that E-box room. Kind of an unfortunate end for him, but he had already put in enough work. It was really up to his teammates to step it up, and they failed to do so. So honestly, great work done from the Spaghets. They were able to get the opening frag on A and kind of manipulate the rotations a little bit, and they're rewarded with it. They come out with the round.
Yeah, I mean, and just to point out, their utility usage was phenomenal there. I have rarely seen a full B exec here, even in the contender tier. And we saw just full smokes out here. But Toast picks up the first Anonymous and Symmetric. Double off the back. Cool Guy picks up an AK, and this is what I was talking about. Free gun can be the death or the loss of a round here. Now down to the 1v2, and Colney 50 HP. Does not have bomb control for multiple players, alright? And they double peek him, and Colney could have had the transfer, but Anonymous takes it out with a nice headshot, bringing the rounds for the totem pole up to 12.
Absolutely, that one got a little too close for comfort. Anonymous was low even before the fight, so a transfer would have been, definitely on the cards there. A great counter push from the totem poles. That's what I love to see, and it looked like it really caught them off guard. The Spaghets rather caught them off guard because they only had like 1 or 2 players back there, and even themselves looked pretty awkward in the engagement. But straight away, we've got a huge call towards the A site, and it looks like they were playing a 2-2-1 defense, so this is going to be the right call. Symmetric couldn't get any kills the first time, and he pulls out a nade on his chance this time. Still somehow comes away with one. Noterhosen with the trade, and the Glocks are flying into the bomb site. Now they have an MP9 to work with, but they're stopped by a Molotov, and Noterhosen said, I'm going to brave that Molotov. It didn't end very well for him. But some low health on the last two remaining players, and what looked like a really good push to start has quickly fizzled out as Cool Guy and Prodigy pick up the last two kills. That was kind of chaos, and surprisingly, Totem Poles were able to get a few kills on the entry, but ultimately they get reinforcements and they back up each other and hold a good crossfire. So they do hold on for that. It feels like the momentum just can't get flowing in one direction or the other this match. We see the terrorists picking up a few rounds here, and then they instantly reset their own money and have to save. So really struggling to get momentum, which usually is going to hurt the CT side more than the T side. So I wish they would have gone for a quick A with guns rather and saved that strap, but here we are back to a default.
Yeah, and Prodigy Toast has been doing some good numbers here in the middle. And there's a bit of a gap in that house smoke that Prodigy Toast can work with Naderhosen. Peeking towards bridge. Flash does come out. And the fully blinded Prodigy Toast. Completely demolished. Completely blind. That Symmetric pushes through A main, picks up Twitchy, and opts to just fall back here. T's are still defaulting here, and Toast. Another kill back here. That's 2 picks for the Totem Pole. Smoke comes out here. Are they ready for Colney to be close dark? Doesn't look likely. They're not sure. It is a 3v4 though. And like I said before, the T's just have to pick a site that they believe is going to be weak and just overrun the player there. And that site is looking like A. They're trying to group up here, and they're leaving dark. They're going towards A. Symmetric only has an MP9, but we know what Symmetric can do. They gotta hold these close angles. And just ups the fall back here. They might be going for a late exec here. The closest rotation is Toast with that op, and they're leaving.
I gotta admit, I like Symmetric with the closer position, considering he has an MP9, but he opts to go to the back of the site, and now he's going to be tested here. He's probably going to wait for them to get a little bit closer for his angle. No, he peeks out, does great damage to the first, but instantly traded by Colney. And that's why I was saying he should probably, wait for him to get a little bit closer, because that's exactly what we saw. Couldn't really convert the kills, and now we see Zam locking down the site. They've got the crossfires established, and it's tough for Toast. He can't really get a shot off at the opponent without him, jiggling out too far. And it's really going to be up to Cool Guy here. He does catch off the close player, and that opens up some space for Toast. And there he is right on cue, picks off Colney in that position he saw earlier. And a quick scope onto Scalpel. That's incredible. Really well done by Toast. He knew he had to wait for his teammate to kind of work some space for him to have a chance retaking with that op from Connector. And he bides his time well, and they come away with the round. Unfortunately for Spaghets, they looked like they had all the cards to win that round, but maybe just a little bit of miscommunication as we saw the Heaven wasn't being watched, and that results in them losing. And their money is viable, kind of, but it's really not in a great position here. It looks like they're going to go ahead and force up anyways. They know that if they give their opponents match point, then things could be over if they make one mistake, but it's going to take a big feat from them here, and they look to be setting up kind of for a default.
Yeah, big feat indeed. Now, you can really rely on the players of Scalpel and Exam there. And even Twitchy, they've been known to just have some great rounds, just very late or just immediately off the bat. And it looks like that they push Prodigy Toast off of mid doors, and Toast brings out a shot, flash, just blind them. Naderhosen, a bit of molly damage, down to 36 HP, and they're fighting for mid control. But Exam onto Toast, a beautiful headshot, but Anonymous is fast on the rotate. And maybe they might not be expecting it. Anonymous to be so close, picks up the first, spots couple more crossing, that molly separates them. Asymmetric picked up a first, Prodigy Toast picks up a second. That's the bomb down, and now Scalpel left in a 1v3, 2 players low, with only Cool Guy left with HP here. And just as I say that, Cool Guy from behind gets to count the Scalpel, bringing them up to 15, and match point here for the final night of preseason.
Yeah, match point indeed, and we saw that their 2-2-1 setup came in handy there, as they were able to have 2 players onto the B site once they gave up mid, and that ultimately helped them set up a crossfire for that quick mid play coming out from the Spaghets. Really well handled there. And it's the sort of setup that I wish we would have seen come out of the Spaghets in the first half. Really well done from the Tadpoles this time around. And it looks like they're gonna go balls to the wall. It looks like a quick B here. It is stopped by a smoke, however, at the B main. They're gonna call it to slow down, and hopefully they can get somebody up into Canal into position for this split. As we see some smokes raining down on the standard spots, and it looks like pretty awkward as they're coming into the site through a smoke. But the kills do go the way of the Scalpels here, or excuse me, the way of the Spaghets. They do get a 4-on-3. This is the chance they had last round, but yet again, they're kind of struggling to set up these crossfires in the post plant. We see the first one coming out, Prodigy picking up a frag there, and Toast spots the player in jail. Twitchy is in trouble, but he doesn't even know it. He didn't see it. He takes some shots down onto Prodigy down in the E-box room, but he's going to be mollied out and forced to fight. We have a great retake coming out from the Toast brothers. They're crossfiring really effectively, and you see it again. Another crossfire, and that's going to be the end of the match, the end of the road for the Spaghets. You know, they had some good rounds, some good showings at times, but ultimately they couldn't set up the right crossfires. Ooh!
No kit on the diffuser. That got very, very close.
That was
But
way closer than I thought.
yeah, I mean, but you're right though. I mean, the CT side aggression from the totem poles, the consistent kind of re-aggression, the poking for losing that man advantage, going down in the opening fights, is something that we wish the Spaghets had done in their CT side, and it just goes to show that these recruit players now, as you know, they may be in the lowest tier. It doesn't mean they don't know how to play the game. Right? They're just new to this new environment of Team Counter-Strike. Because anyone can be a great puck star and just click heads, but it takes a good player to be a part of a good team. And as this is the final night of preseason, you have to come down to a final five. You saw the draft a couple of weeks ago, and we now have to cut down to the final five. So you may see a name missing here or there. You may see a name that has gotten cut, but also picked up onto a different team. And so just be aware of that. Coming into the first official match day, which I believe is this coming Thursday. So, yeah. And
Absolutely, yeah. And kind of a small tidbit on that last round. Actually, Prodigy did have a kit, but his brother, Young Toast, he was the one defusing. So maybe a bit of early season jitters coming out there. But it created a close situation. But the scoreline was so big in difference that probably didn't matter a whole lot whether they took that round or not, because they just looked solid there. Their retakes were on point. Their crossfires and the initial engagements of the match were on point. And I imagine it's only going to get better as the season progresses. It was very well done.
yeah, unfortunately, we do have to cut the stream right now. So, but before we all kind of head off to bed and dream of the next coming match day, which is this Thursday, I got to plug our socials here real quick. Follow us on TikTok and Twitter at CS Confederation for any caster highlights, player submitted highlights that you can go into the media section of People to Know, and even the community announcements. I believe our wonderful observer Aiden here, the committee head, has let me know that you can send in your clips there to be a part of the next YouTube video that is usually being made by Captain Diabetes. So great shout out to him. Check out our website at csconfederation.com. Especially now that preseason has ended, the official stats for season 11 will be out. The match results and the upcoming matches will be on that page as well. So stick around for that. You can also read up on some articles. We have the draft grades coming out soon. I think we already have prospect, recruit, and contender, I believe. No, contender's coming soon. I think we have elite. So read up on those. You can also read up on Nitro's interviews with the GMs of the CSC franchises. So you can catch some reading up on those. And I have been Nexus. I have been joined by Kat and our observer Aiden here. And we'll see you guys for the next stream. Take care.
I'd rather be a dreamer. I'd rather be free. I'd rather be a leader. I'd rather be a queen. I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer. I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be a poser in a magazine. I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free. I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen. I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be a poser in a magazine. I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather